Wake up, Zambia.
Good morning. Good morning.
A brand new morning experience is coming your way. Introducing the Power Breakfast, where the queens of breakfast serve up the hottest conversations, freshest hits, and everything you need to start your day right. Catch the Queens of Breakfast every weekday from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Power FM and Dstv. And no, this isn't an April Fool's joke. It all begins April 1st. Power up your mornings with the Power Breakfast.
Power Breakfast. If you love winning, then this is the perfect game for you. Why not call us up? That's on 0979-192-485 or 0955-997-997. We've got a very different game for you today. Very easy. It's going to wake you up. You've got a timer, so you've got pressure on you. But also, if you've not yet drunk your fit, I think this would be a great time to do so.
Exactly. You need to do some press-ups. Your brain needs to do some press-up right now.
Some endo push-ups.
Yeah, because you need to keep your mind fit as much as you can. That is right here on the Drink Different segment. So, like Shekinah alluded to, it's going to be one of those games where you have to list as many items as possible that are found in a classroom, right? Mm-hmm. So, from A to Z. We're going to randomly give you a letter, and you're going to come through and say, this is what starts with letter A, or letter B, or letter D, or letter X. This is what's found in a classroom.
It's as easy as that. So why not try some fit? If you don't know what fit is, let me break it down for you. Essentially, Big Tree Beverages Limited is proud to announce Fit. It's a cutting-edge sports drink designed to create and to elevate the fitness experience for enthusiasts and even for athletes alike. So it's an innovative beverage that is crafted to provide optimal hydration, replenishment as well, and features a balanced blend of carbohydrates, nutritional minerals, and even electrolytes. It's got an amazing range of flavors, so why not try them out? But before we get to the game, before we start it, we do have to make sure that at least you know what fit is a little bit more.
Some days test your limits. The grind, the sweat, the push. It all takes its toll. But you're not a quitter. You rise, and within reach is that which you need in order to refuel. Fit Sports Drink gives you the edge. Packed with electrolytes for hydration and antioxidants to fight fatigue. It helps you bounce back stronger, faster, better. Fuel your drive. Rehydrate, recharge, and reclaim your day. Fit by Vatra. Fit for life.
If you're like me and you're feeling like you are just absolutely exhausted, then why not try some fit and reclaim the rest of your day and the rest of your week? It's found in any store in Zambia nationwide, from your little Kantembas to the big Walmarts, or to the big stores, if I should say. So why not get yourself some fit today? But also, why not win some fit today?
Exactly. That's easy as that. So do come through. The phone lines are open for you to participate. In case all these days you have been unlucky, today is your lucky day. I'm telling you, I'm assuring you that today is your lucky day. The number that you can come to is on 0979-192-485 or 0955-997-997.
Oh, you're about to give your number again. You felt it coming?
I felt it. I'm like, not again. But yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay, thanks. And how are you?
Doing great, thank you. Who are we speaking to this morning?
This is Wuchisa Nonde.
Wuchisa Nonde.
Yes.
Okay, Wuchisa, may you please give us the first four numbers of your NRC?
4882.
Okay, got it. Are you ready?
Ready to try.
Okay.
All right. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go. I'm gonna give you letter A.
Letter A.
Yes.
Okay. A.
Come on. The timer is on. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow.
Well, what you could have said, should I give some of the answers, or maybe we move on to a different letter? Should I? No?
What answer?
So possibly what Sanonde could have said for objects within a classroom that start with the letter A is like an abacus. Remember those ones? Hated it, absolutely detested it with all my heart. An atlas, maybe, you know.
I've never seen an atlas for a long time.
But
what do they use these days?
I'm assuming they still use atlases
For
in
real?
classrooms, do they? Or maybe they've got those charts that's
With the digital space we're going
I know.
to, you might find that they're using tablets now.
You never know. You never really know. And actually, what you can do is put the ones who are going to school, or rather are planning to go to school. So I know some have opened this week, others are opening next week. So why not actually put them on the line as well? That's once again on 0955 997 997 or on 0979 192 485. What we are assigning you are things or objects within a classroom that start with certain letters of the alphabet. You've got 30 seconds to say as many of them as you can, which obviously, the more you say that are correct, the higher the chances of walking away with some fit, courtesy of Vatra. And Vatra is under Big Tree Beverages, which is under the Trade Kings Group. And obviously by now you must know that Trade Kings don't miss. So why not win some?
Well, so today you're listing items that are found in the classroom. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm okay, how are you?
Doing great, thank you. Who are we speaking to?
Male Goma Ponga.
All right, Malego, what is your NRC, first four numbers of your NRC?
1964.
Okay, are you ready?
All born ready.
I'm going to give you letter C.
T?
Letter C.
C.
C, yes, letter C.
I will C for cup.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to start the timer once more in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Carbon paper, cartridge paper, chalkboard eraser, clipboard, color pencil, complement slip, continuous stationery, correction fluid, correction paper, correction tape, cream, crayon, etc.
ETC? What is the ETC company?
Card making, cotton card to the present group.
Your time is up.
Okay, I have a few questions. I heard fluid. What fluid did you say? There was something.
Sorry?
There was something fluid.
Correction fluid.
Correction fluid.
Yes.
Okay, is it T-Pix? Is that?
Could be.
Okay, thank you so much, Mfonga. Just stay tuned.
Alright, thank you.
Okay, so he was like, we're going to play around with English. It's not T-Pix, it's now correction fluid.
Interesting.
That is how you play the game, I guess. Do call us up. That's on 0955 997 997. And if you're somebody who's recently from school, then this should be super easy for you because it was a room you were in.
Yeah.
So do call us up. That's on 0955 997 997 or on 0979 192 485. What we need from you are just objects, things within a classroom that start with letters of the alphabet. If you two want to be very cool with your English, want to, play around with it, as long as you get to the answer, then why not do it by saying, correction fluids. I've changed. I'm never going to say T-Pix again in my life.
No, it's correction fluid. In case you didn't know, now you know. To come through, the number is 0979 192 485 or 0955 997 997. To come through and list as many items as you can. That is in a space of 30 seconds. If you can do that, then you are going to be our winner for today.
Yes, that is true, and it is brought to you all thanks, or rather via Vatra. And Vatra, already we drink some Vatra mineral water because water is life, but also why not try out some Fit? Fit has got 6 flavors, I believe, so why not try at least one of those flavors each time? Every time you go out and you're feeling a little bit low energy, try some Fit. You never know, you might actually just become a super fan. But hopefully do not get dependent on it as much.
Yeah, like every day.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Shekinah.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Michael calling you from within Lusaka.
Sorry?
This is Michael calling you from within Lusaka.
Okay, Michael. What's your surname and the first 4 numbers of your NRC?
Mwanza, and the first 4 numbers of my NRC is 601.
Okay, got it. Michael, Mr. Michael Mwanza, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay.
All right, Michael, I'm going to give you letter K.
What am I listing first?
The items that are found in a classroom. In a class.
The letters that are found in a classroom.
The items that are found in a classroom. Objects that are found in a classrooms. So I'm giving you letter K.
Letter K.
Yes.
Do you have items that start with letter K in a class though?
We do, yes.
I can't think of any.
Okay, let me be fair. Let me change to letter L.
L?
Yes. In 3, 2, 1, let's go.
No, I failed in capitals.
You've tried. Okay, try. Just try.
I know, I can't
Even
think
one
of
word.
anything.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
No.
You've broken my heart, Mr. Mwanza.
No, I can't.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. Thank you so much for calling. Maybe today we just chose a really, really hard game. It's either you've got it or you don't have it. So at first we did have, which is Anonde was like, yeah, nope. And Mr. Mike was like, another letter, please.
I love how he's just like, nah, okay.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
We are great. How are you doing today?
Doing great, how are you?
Oh, fantastic. Please tell us what your name is and where you're calling from.
I'm calling you from within Saka.
Okay, noted. May you please give us the first 4 numbers of your NRC?
1983.
Okay.
All right, are you ready, Mwemba?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to give you letter D.
Letter?
D.
Okay, we have a duster, dictionary, a drawer, document camera, a dry erase machine, or a dry eraser maker. You also have a decimeter, and
okay, time
is up.
drag.
First of all, I've got a question. Have you seen a decimeter before?
Yes.
What does it look like?
How it looks like. How can I say it? I think I even have a picture of it somewhere.
But you can't show us over the radio. What does it look like?
A decimeter. Huh? You said a decimeter?
Yes.
Thank you for calling. Just stay tuned.
Okay. What?
Do call us up. That's once again on 0955-997-997. We've only got time to announce who the winner is for today's segment, but don't worry, we still do have time for more games once again right here on the Power Breakfast Show, as we're giving you so many chances of winning. So you can make sure that you actually, we still do have the riddle on. Nobody's given us the answer to that. And we still do have another chance for you to win, and that's within Convos Before Coffee. And we still have another chance to win, for you to win rather, when it comes to the Health Buzz. So make sure you stay tuned, as we're giving you so many options of being a winner. We're going to go on a break. When we do come back, we'll announce who the winner is.
Some days test your limits. The grind, the sweat, the push. It all takes its toll. But you're not a quitter. You rise, and within reach is that which you need in order to refuel. Fit Sports Drink gives you the edge. Packed with electrolytes for hydration and antioxidants to fight fatigue. It helps you bounce back stronger, faster, better. Fuel your drive. Rehydrate, recharge, and reclaim your day. Fit by Vatra. Fit for life.
Fortrace can't help herself. She's in tears, essentially. But we do have a winner for today, and it's really... Okay, today has been a bit of a difficult one. Definitely.
It has been a difficult one, and has been a very interesting one as well. Thank you very much for making my day.
And don't worry, in case you don't win today, you still, or rather not right now, if I should say, you still do have more chances of winning. But for today, they can, or rather for this particular segment, they can only be one winner. And well, drum roll, and over to you, Fortrace.
The winner for today on today's game is the one and only Mabonga. Yay! You are the winner for today. Oh, we need confetti, eh?
Every single time?
Yeah. it is to be somewhere. Congratulations, you know the drill. You can send in your full details, that is via text. You can text us your full NRC number and your full name, and definitely you can come and pick up your prize. You are the winner. You have won it fair and square. So if you think that you haven't managed to win through today, you can come through tomorrow. You have another chance that is coming through at 7:05, and we're giving you all the chances that we can give you for you to give it a try and be the winner.
Drink Different Power Breakfast. Brought to you by Vatra Mineral Water. Vatra, made for all, made for life.
It is Voice of the People right here on Power 91.3. You can be part of the conversation. You can also catch us on Dstv, that is channel 92 on Topstar. Joining us this morning, we do have Mr. Sensio Banda, who is the former Kasenengwa MP, and he is also an accountant by profession, a business administrator, as well as a consultant. Welcome on the show.
It's a pleasure to just come here at Power FM for the first time.
Indeed.
And also, good morning, listeners.
Your name. We were talking behind the scenes that it sounds interesting. Sensio.
Yeah. Of course, you know, I'm an Easterner.
Yes.
But of course, it is a name which was given to me by a Catholic father. It's supposed to be Oxensio. Oh. Yeah. So, but I just carry to Sensio. Yeah.
So that it's easier.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, as a former Kasenengwa MP, and when you were in tenure and you are no longer there anymore, what activities have you been engaged in since leaving?
First and foremost, I didn't participate in that particular election because I wasn't adopted, and I respected the wisdom of the party to pick somebody else to continue where I ended. Of course, I did strides in terms of development in the constituency in the 3 years I was there. But after that, of course, I took a sabbatical leave. I've been doing pretty much my own stuff and trying to apply myself, putting on a new set of tires so that when duty calls, I should be able to apply myself effectively. Yeah.
Do you have any intentions of running for Kasenengwa parliamentary seat again?
Service to the people is a calling, just like a pastor, like anybody else. For me, it's not a career, it's a call to serve the people. So when that call becomes imminent, definitely I'm going for it.
So actually, before we go even any further, for all those who are hearing about you for the first time, or rather have seen your name around, who would you say Sensio Banda is? How would you describe yourself?
Basically, Sensio Banda is a common boy. You know, grew up in Kabwe, in Kombo, in Nakoli. they say, can anything come out of the ghetto, but God is faithful, really. And so basically, I have a background in terms of in the developmental sector. I've applied myself in various organizations, but in terms of education, I have a qualification in accounts, and also I've got a master's in business administration, project management. So basically, besides being a politician, I'm also a technocrat in my own right, as it were. So such that it makes me to look at politics with a different lens. After applying myself in the corporate world, especially in the diplomatic development sector, and when I joined politics, I've got a different lens in terms of how I look at politics. Yeah.
What made you decide to step into the political realm?
Basically, is that when I'd applied myself in various spheres in the developmental sector, because I was applying myself at a point of impact, I asked myself to let me apply myself at a different level, in a different sphere, in the political realm, and an opportunity availed itself. And at that time, I think I was prepared psychologically, mentally, and in every sense. And such when that opportunity presented itself, I had to apply myself. So basically, like I said, it's a call, and there are phases in life. The one door closes, and this political career door has opened. So I need to apply myself to the service of the people.
So now, seeing that at the moment you're no longer the Kasanengo MP, are you going to go back to your technocratic roots once again, or you shall still continue along this path?
I'm a politician now.
You're never turning back?
No, I'm a politician. I'm at service to the people. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, part of the clauses in the constitutional amendment is talking about delimitation. Now, in what ways could the delimitation process impact political representation?
First and foremost, before we can talk about in what way can it impact the people, firstly, delimitation is a process of trying to review the boundaries of the district, constituencies, wards, and also the polling stations. The essence is to ensure that there is equity in terms of development. There's also proportional representation in terms of people who have been represented, and also there are many other advantages in terms of delimitation, because as the population grows, the burden becomes bigger, and there's need to do that delimitation. With that said, I know for a fact that the delimitation core has been attached to the issue of the Constitution, that if we do not do the Constitution amendments, we won't be able to do the delimitation. I think I need to make some clarity on that score. Basically, if you look at the Constitution, Article 58 and 59, and basically, if you look at Article of 58, it gives ECZ the mandate to do the delimitation. In fact, Article 58 1 and 2, 58 1 precisely says that the Electoral Commission of Zambia is responsible for delimiting constituency, wards, and polling station. That's the mandate for 58 1. Okay, 58.2, which has been more of the talk for the court to review the Constitution. In order to have the Constitution, it says that actually the ECZ shall review. Remember, the first one is talk about the ECZ shall delimitate. Okay, but this one says the ECZ shall review the names and the boundaries of the constituencies and the wards at intervals of not less than 10 years. So this exercise basically is to review. It has got nothing to do with the delimitation. This number 2. It's number 1, which talks about the ECZ has got a mandate to do the delimitation. In that score, it's erroneous and misleading to say we can only do delimitation, constitutional delimitation, when the Constitution is amended. It's not true, because the power to do the delimitation is vested into the ECZ. In fact, if you look at the Election Process Act, should be of number 35 or 2016. It provides expanded the delimitation procedures and also operational guidelines for the ECZ to do so. So, firstly, I want to make it very clear. It is not true that we cannot do delimitation unless we do the constitutional amendments. A critical example, let me give an example. Such delimitation processes have been done before, even without the amendment of the Constitution, because this mandate has been cascaded to the ECZ. For example, at district level, you can do delimitation. An example is Chipata. Chipata had 4 constituencies. There was Kasenengwa, where I was member of parliament. There was Chipangali, Chipata Central, and Luangeni. A delimitation was done. Kasenengwa became a constituency and a district on its own, and Chipangali. Another example is Londazi. A delimitation was done where we have now today Lumezi. Another example is Mafinga and as well as Senga Hill. Another example is Love Shimanda, where there is Kanchibia, was part of Mpika. A delimitation was done by ECZ. The mandate of doing the delimitation of any constituency is given to ECZ by the Constitution.
So then my question is, why exactly is this current government pushing for having this within the Constitution? What could be the reason, if it is not true, that we do need to have a constitutional amendment for us to now have delimitation take place?
So for me, that begs an answer, because I've just demonstrated to you that actually you can do delimitation without necessarily doing amendment constitution. Another aspect which has been brought to the fore is saying that we want the women and the youths and also the different abled persons to actually participate in terms of governance and the decision-making process. Article 259 of the Constitution gives the president the mandate to appoint such persons who are qualified in various government portfolios. So for me, I anticipate at this point for government and the president himself, if he has a poised mind to ensure that women and youths and different abled persons and marginalized persons participate, is to say, look, I've been given this mandate. I have only 8 members of parliament I can nominate. So far, I've nominated 6 women and 1 disabled, and because of the gap and the limitation of the Constitution, I want to increase that. So for me, is that that current call should be based on the actions which has been taken. So for me, is that there are laws already which provide for the president to do so, in terms of to do the delimitation. ECZ is mandated by the law under Article 58, 1 and 2. In fact, Article 59 even provides the criteria against which the delimitation can be done. So for me, is that yes, there could be a call to review the Constitution, but based on some of the aspects which the current call is on, like delimitation and participation of women, and the agents and the timing, I think it's not worth the cost in terms of what it will cost to implement this particular activity. So for me, this activity can as well wait, and be undertaken after the 2026 election. That's my opinion.
Okay. Since you said we didn't have to necessarily amend the Constitution to delimitate constituencies, but do you think the end justifies the means, though maybe it might work out, maybe there might be a positive side of the delimitation clause?
Well, for me, first and foremost, delimitation is a requirement. That is why Article 59, Article 58, 2 provides the revision. In fact, there is an electoral report which was done in 2019 by then under the PF government, which are among the issues which have been adopted in this current report. So basically, the issue is that yes, delimitation is very critical because it's beneficial to the community for one simple reason, because it provides fair representation to the people. Ensure that each constituency.
Are we going to have that?
Sorry?
Fairness representation. Are we going to have that?
You mean currently?
Yes.
The issue is not about because what it is that fair representation has got to do with equity in terms of resource allocation. It has to do with the constitution must reflect demographic changes in the constituency and also to strengthen democracy. So there are many dynamics to it when we talk about delimitation. It's not just fair representation. We talk about equity in terms of resources. Talk about you want to reflect the geographical representation. I have not dispute. Yes, we need to do the delimitation, but my argument is that this delimitation must not be attached to say we need first to amend the constitution, then we can do the delimitation. No, okay, it's a good exercise because as the population grow, the needs grow, and such there's need, the dynamics needs to change. Delimitation is very critical, is important. That is the reason that is in the constitution provided for, because it's correlates the fact that dynamics change over time, and even as people are being represented, it must be a fair representation, and there must be equity in terms of resource distribution, and also reflecting the geographical dimension, as it were. So I think yes, it's very beneficial, but my argument, like I've said, is that it should not be attached to say if we don't do a constitutional amendment, we'll not do it. That is the misrepresentation of what the mandate of ECZ provides for in the constitution.
So would you say that there's been transparency and fairness when it comes to this whole situation of them pushing constitutional amendments?
First and foremost, if you look at the constitutional process, even before I can talk about if there has been transparency, fairness, and the consensus, if you look at the constitutional making process, has been quite a lengthy process. It has started a long time ago. You look at the Chanda Commission. Basically, that was a transitional one because its focus was barely trying to change from the one party to a multi-party democracy to some kind of transitional constitution. If you look at the Chiluba Constitution, it's the one actually which brought a lot of issues, because when that review was done, okay, and a matter was brought to Parliament, and a lot of issues which people raised, which they thought that actually ought to be in the Constitution. Remember, because the Constitution is the document of the people. We are unique as a country based on our Constitution. Zambia is as such, as a republic, different from any other because of a Constitution. We give it to ourselves. And as such, if there are any changes, Zambians ought to participate. And that being the case, is that past reviews from Chona up to to Professor Manalushi is the Bill 10. Certain standards, norms have been set in place. Like I said, because of the constitutional process under the regime of Chiluba, people had misgivings. They said, we cannot trust government to undertake this particular process on its own. Hence, you saw how Manawansa came on the fore. He put up what we call 16 points of amending the constitution. And again, there was a gap. And the civil society said, no, actually there can be a better way of doing this, and arising from the mistrust which happened, and the process stalled, and but that was negotiated. We had the NCC, and they come up with one is there's a clear roadmap. And that roadmap was as a result of consensus among the key stakeholders, the church, the professional community, everybody was taken on board, such that even when you say this is the roadmap, it was as a result of consensus. Also, the terms of reference were very clear, and also there was an established consensus building framework, which was legalized by Parliament, the NCC Act, to ensure that whatever discussions which come out of this whole process, when it goes to Parliament, it will not be changed. I might come to the bill, even the Bill 10 itself. It had the NDF Act, which provided for various aspects, the roadmap and all that, so that even whatever is discussed is legalized, and that whatever comes to the floor of the House, there won't be tampering of that, such that even when we talk about the white paper which the government prepares, it is as a result of the various interrogation of the matters which have been brought forward as earmarked for amendments, and people agree, yes, this is what we want to amend, and government takes it up. They prepare a white paper which they brings before Parliament for the first reading, and then it goes to parliamentary committee and so on and so forth. This process, this government has not done so.
Just sorry to cut you off short. Why do you think this specific constitution that it was being amended is heavily opposed by a lot of CSOs as well?
Look, it is said that process protect content. Even a dot in the constitution was as a result. I participated in an NDF where we said, no, remove that comma. It distorts. They remove that full stop. It distorts the meaning. So when you want to change, because UPND government, they are an employee of the people of Zambia. They were given the mandate, or by people of Zambia to run the affairs of the country. No, we can't all of us, the 20 million, go and sit in parliament. There is the members of parliament who represent us. We cannot all be ministers. There are ministers who have been appointed by the president, who has been elected by the people of Zambia. And when a critical and fundamental law of the land is being changed, government cannot say, here's the deal, take it or leave it. We'll go with it, even if you don't go, come along with us. An example is that we've heard utterances by the various political leaders in UPND saying that if you don't like it or not, we'll have this constitution. It should not be that way. The constitution is the people's document. There must be consensus. Yes, I'm not saying that there cannot be 100% agreement, but everybody must be taken on board. Their views taken on board. This has not happened. What the UPND government did, even the roadmap, all they did, they went and sat down. First and foremost, the white paper was just told, no, it's a white paper. And there was a counter argument. No, there's no constitution. No, there is, but there was already the white paper. Who inputted that white paper? And an example, the argument might be, no, actually there are various constitutional reviews which have been done, and also technical reports on elections which have been done. So we reviewed. An example is President Sata. He could have given the same excuses, but what he did, he put up a technical committee, which among them, the current ECZ chairperson was a member of that particular committee. They went round, before even having a white paper, to get the views of the people and presented that to government. Unfortunately, he died. And then President Lungu came on board. And that's the other argument which I don't want to agree with, where even PF, they did the amendment a year before the election. But the truth of the matter, it started under Sata. President Sata, President Lungu just picked up the baton and continued with the process, and it ended in 2020 thereabouts. So for me, is that the bottom of the matter, whether the outcomes are good or or bad in terms of the thematic commissions which have been handled, but the process has been was standardized for the simple reason because this is the people's document. So that the outcome must be that which reflect the will of the people. Because yes, good it might be want to do the delimitation. Good it might be want to represent proportional representation. Good it might be, but who proposes that? It must be the people, not government. That's my take.
Now let's also talk about how you feel about the UPND government's performance up to this point.
Well, for me, if you talk about the UPND performance, I will not discuss it in abstract. I think we need to be fair with the UPND government in terms of when we are measuring their performance.
Let's start with the good stuff.
Yes, of course. For me, is that firstly, before we even talk about the good stuff, you want to look at what is the basis of us measuring their performance. Okay, the UPND government, while it's in opposition, they made numerous promises. Okay, and based on that, the people of Zambia voted them into office. Among them, they did hint to the fact that they will actually reduce the price of fuel. They will reduce the price of mealie meal. And among them, they'll say, okay, they will manage the vitality of the kwacha. Among them, they said actually they will increase the farmer support program in terms of packs for farmers to 8. And there all these promises which were made, and also to reduce the cost of living. So now, because those promises, to my understanding, were translated in the 7th National Development Plan, and has got 4 thematic areas: the economic transformation and job creation, and there's also social development components. There's also environmental sustainability, and lastly, the 4th component is actually has to do with the good governance and rule of law. So, in view of that, if you look at the first pillar in terms of economical transformation, let me give an example. They have, if you talk about economical transformation, there are certain factors, which drives the economy. Key of them is energy. Okay, if you look at energy, how has this UPND government handled the energy sector? As you may know, energy is at the core of the economic development and human index. So for me, when they came into power, my view is that their policy was business oriented and not people centric. Why do I say so? When they came into power, for argument's sake, when they came into power, what do? First and foremost, I want to admit that this poverty energy which we have is not their creation, but has been a cumulative problem. But for me, I thought they could have eased up this problem by the policy pursuant which they should have taken. But what did they do? They continued to export power, as it were, even when they were caused to not to export power. And because of that, our economy has been affected. The backbone of our economy are SMEs, and SMEs, most of them have closed their businesses. People have lost jobs. Today, one time I found it was coming from Copperbelt in the night, 02, somebody was welding because during the day they cannot weld. It has had a huge impact on the lives of people. Today, the cost of living, one of the key drivers of consumer price index is food prices and energy itself. So for me is that the energy sector has not been handled well. For example, the government said, "Oh no, I think we need to improve this aspect of energy, poverty. We need to improve it." For example, in 2024, 2024, I want to give an example why they've not handled it very well. In 2024, in this same quarter, the Zambia's authority gave us about 80 billion metric meters of water. 8 billion cubic meters of water last year, and the load shedding was between between 8 to 12 hours. 8 to 12 hours. And how much water do we have? 8. In this same quarter compared to the last quarter, we're given about 13.5 billion cubic meters, and on paper we've been told that actually the hours have eased up to 4 to 6. But the lived reality of Zambians out there is longer than that. So despite having this access to the increased water, also the government also did increase power generation, to about 269 megawatts. Also, they exported about 113 megawatts, and they cut exports in terms of from 520 megawatts to 150. No, despite all these measures which have been put in place, why do we still have load shedding? The numbers are not adding up. The question is, where is the excess power going to? So for me, basically, it borders one. That's my opinion. Mismanagement by ZESCO or inefficiency, or it's profiteering on this power issue, because this is excess power. Government says we've made this intervention. In fact, there's also a 20 megawatts from Itipa solar plant, which they have been said it's on the grid. So we've got this excess. Where is the power going?
Okay, so we had one from the UPND that came to explain that the current power situation is an overhaul of what was currently happening in the Chiluba when Dr. Chiluba was still the president, and then it overhauled into the PF, and now it is what they are dealing with now. That is why we are currently having a power deficit. Do you agree with that?
No,
that should have been sorted out in the previous regime.
In fact, the previous regime did very well in terms of to increase on the power generation. So for me, my argument is that they should not have made the problem worse. They should have improved.
They're solving it now.
No, I've demonstrated to you. They have solved in terms of the interventions. For example, the typical example, the water situation has improved. Okay, we've got we recorded this quarter recorded about 13.5 billion cubic meters. Okay, compared to last year, 8. Last year we had power outage of 8 to 12 hours. But this year, where the water situation has improved, where the government has allocated extra 269 megawatts and imported 133, and cut down export from 520 to 150. But the load shedding has even gotten worse. The question which begs an answer: why is the extra? If they are dealing with this matter, and these are their intervention, I'm highlighting, okay? The problem could have eased up by now. So what I'm saying is that because of this, our numbers are not adding up. I'm saying is that where is the extra power going to? In fact, let me tell one thing, is that the key role of government is to make the lives of people possible. Not only possible, to make the life of people better amid the scarcity of resources. And one of the key scarcity of resources is energy. So if Zambia, the government is not prioritizing the needs of our Zambians, are exporting, then they don't care about Zambians because of that, a lot of people are jobless, have lost income, and so on and so forth. So for me, they're saying we are resolving whatever happened in the past. Resolving, you must make life better. Have they made life better in terms of power? No. Another critical example, let me give an example. When I say in the energy sector, they have not applied themselves effectively, in terms of diesel. We are told that PF, because of the middlemen, that's why diesel was very expensive, and they were given the mandate by the people. What happened? The first thing is to increase. But now, they were exposed when there was a change to the open access framework, okay? Because the fuel has been expensive through and through. But when the matter was brought to competitive bidding, okay, the same company, Agrofuel, which was selling expensive diesel, reduced the pricing of the diesel. So meaning that Zambians were buying a diesel which had super profits, and who was benefiting from those super profit? I say super profit because even in the current bidding on open access framework, they're still making profit, and diesel is at the core of driving the economy. And yet you want to come to us and say, now we are reducing. But that reduction you are doing, in view of the damage that's been done of expensive diesel we have accessed for the last 4 years, the damage is huge. That cannot be reversed by just that the 8%, 9% decrease. In view of the power outage, the economy which is already boiling, the inflation is high. Food inflation is about 20%, and we have a government which has got an over contractional monetary and fiscal policy. We have an inflation which is high. And our currency is not doing well, and you think just the increase of one component will change the economy. I think we need to be honest with ourselves and Zambians. So for me, I can go on and on. So in the area of performance, for example, cost of living right now, is it any better? No, it's not. So for me, I think there are these gaps. There are many thematic areas I can speak to. One area is the economy. I could talk about issues of governance. Okay, for argument's sake, they say that when come in, there'll be good governance and rule of law. What has happened? The opposite is true. Today, the democratic space has tightened. You cannot speak anyhow. You'll be cited under the cyber law, which was enacted just recently. And what is sad is that even as we try to want to deal with the cyber crime and so on and so forth, the application of the law has been selective. And you see, look at the wings of government, where there was supposed to be separation of power. The separation of power has been blared. We have seen the footprints of the executive in the parliament, decisions which have been made, and also judicially, and vice versa. So for me, even in the governance aspect, issues are not better than what they said that they would do. That's my take in terms of performance, as it were. So Zambia is still right now experiencing high cost of living. Mm-hmm. The democratic space has shrunk, mm-hmm. and we've got still have expensive fuel. The rate of the dollar is still high, and again, they have been talking about the mines. So no, we open the mines and all that, and the mines are doing so very well. For argument's sake, we need to talk to these issues. For argument's sake, government gave KCM, and also Mupani for the purpose of to stabilize the economy. Okay, and on top of that, they gave concessions to these mines, among them to make tax deductible. Okay, and also to ensure that there's a sliding structure of tax, as it were. So now, look at it this way: when they made tax deductible, meaning that Zambians lost income. Okay, why do I say so? Because, for example, if a company produces $10 million, okay, or $100 million, and $30 million is cost, and loyalty is $10 million. So what will happen in the previous regime in terms of the tax? You only deduct the cost, okay, and the tax is charged on the gross. But when this government came in and said, no, actually, even the tax must be deducted, or minimum loyalty must be deducted, meaning that the corporate tax was reduced. Okay, which means we lost income based on that, and we lost income based on restructuring the tax by making it a sliding system. Okay, meaning that if production or the cost is below 4,000, okay, the minimum rate will be 4%. In the previous regime, it was about 5%. Meaning that if the pricing are constant low, the government will be losing income, which puts government on fiscal risk. And furthermore, with these incentives, the production has been going down. In 2021, you had about 802,000 plus metric tons. 2022, you had 762 metric tons. In 2023, you had 607 something metric tons. Production has been going down. Even with this.
But why is that so, though? Even though they've got incentives.
That's a question, because the rationale of giving those incentives, one was to ensure that our tax system is in line with the international standards. Secondly, is to increase production of these mines. And thirdly, the hope is that when the production goes up, we'll get more money in terms of royalty, and that will will cover up. That has not happened by default. You know, it's a de facto tax holiday, because by implication, and again, this is where the area they'll be saying, no, we're doing so well. For me, the issue is that measurement of the performance of the government must not be on paper. Measurement of the performance of the government must be on the dinner plate. What is the trickle-down effect? How is it changing the lives of people? When I go to the hospital, when I go to the lab, I should have later available equipment for me to be assessed. When the doctor prescribes the medicine, it's not when I'm given a prescription, I should go to the pharmacy. I'm given the medicine. That should be the measure. The measure should be the cost of living, as it were. You know, people are affording meals per day. You know, what's the cost of meal? Those should be the basic measure. And for me, is that I remember for a fact that they said they have attained 91%. True, it may be. But that should translate in the lives of people. But no, it's a long term. But as a government, it must be both short term, address the vaccine issues of the people, and have long term goals, and so on and so forth. That's my take.
This is Voice of the People. You can definitely call us up right now. That's on 0955 997 997 or on 0979 192 485. And in studio with us, our guest this morning is the former Kasenengwa MP, Mr. Sensio Banda, and we're touching on a number of issues. If you're in agreement or you've got an opposing thought or even a question that you'd like to ask, the phone lines are open. You can also send us a message as well. That's once again on 0955 997 997 or on 0979 192 485. And now, Mr. Sensio, there's a topic that I would say has brought a lot of talk, and we've heard so many different takes on it from both the current government and also from the opposition, and that's on CDF. So now, as somebody who was an MP, I would say you are in the system and now you're out of it, we'd like your view on how some members of society are saying that CDF is a game changer, but then from others they're saying we're not really seeing that game changing at all. What's your take on that?
Yeah, of course, CDF is a government initiative in terms of to promote localized development in allocating of funds directly to constituencies, implementing small-scale infrastructure projects in the community. That said, is that yes, indeed, CDF is a game changer. More so that it was increased from 1.6 to 27.5 in 2022. Indeed, CDF is meant to change the lives of people, but the question which begs an answer is that my entry point, before I can say much, is that what worries me is that what is on paper, mostly when it's pronounced by this government, the lived reality in the community is different.
Sorry to hold you there. We do have a caller. Hello, good morning. You're through to Voice of the People.
Hello, good morning.
Morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Mandipiri. I'm calling from Chongwe. That's Sensio. Good morning, my dear son, Honorable.
Oh, good morning, Musha and Mami.
You are speaking so well, but unfortunately, the people are supposed and do cry that the opposition don't give us alternatives. They don't listen. So when you are talking about health, you know, right now me as a child who is sick. For you, TH, there's nothing happening. No medication. Udabaku refer to cancer center. Just know that you are waiting for your death. No machine is working. Vakusanga na cancer aid. You can't go through chemo. It's as bad as that. The entire country. So as we speak, when you're diagnosed with cancer, in Shvakweva, you are waiting for your death. Is that the way we are going to live in a country where people are claiming that they have done almost 90-80%? As if that's not enough. Your CDF, you honorable much that knowledge at me game changer. And me, I hear as they say, it's a game changer to themselves. How can you explain Makonzo Chikot? All that exposed. Me, I call that woman as a whistleblower. Wapanga company as a minister ulebula n'amamotoka motoka yaku livestock and fisheries eile amukuchita inspect ama projects when you have given them to yourselves. Does that make sense? And that they are fighting corruption. That minister has been exposed by that woman, whatever she is. For me, she's a whistleblower and they are quiet. And a chalo chino abantu nga tabaisuka men so 2026 Sirati never under Copper Belt. I'm sure honorable have been to the Copper Belt. The language on the Copper Belt is babwe kesheni po tumono wako sakunsala. Otherwise we are listening, and the radio station, please keep up bringing such programs to educate people. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for coming too.